is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning.
Rise and shine.
I thought Keith was about to start singing. He's good morning.
It's the haircut. He's feeling himself.
Man.
It's a little too early to be melodic.
Man, how is everyone's week?
Hectic.
Good, man. I'm well. Yours. Hectic.
The final countdown.
Yeah, I wish we had that song to play. That'd be dope.
The SpongeBob version too.
Never heard it.
Oh,
I wasn't really a SpongeBob kid.
You're killing me.
When SpongeBob start? Did that?
I grew up on SpongeBob.
I didn't. I grew up on Rugrats.
I like Rugrats too.
Yeah.
Rugrats and G.I. Joes.
I was more of the G.I. Joes type of kid. Yeah.
Transformers, that type of thing.
I was SpongeBob, Rick and Morty.
Way too old by then.
Hey Arnold, probably everything. Was Nickelodeon around when you was growing up?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It
was Nick then.
Okay.
It was Nickelodeon when we had it. Y'all turned to Nick.
Phineas and Ferb.
Never heard of it.
Oh my goodness. Y'all are killing me, man. Killing me.
All right, we got a lot to talk about today, and not all about cartoons this morning. Coming up on today's show, we'll dive into the Chiefs. They'll go out to Arizona, and they're going to take on a Philadelphia Eagles. And they join a small group of teams, NFL teams, that are playing in their third Super Bowl in a 4-year span. Not many teams have done that. Can you believe it?
Period.
Yeah, okay. Tom Brady says he's retiring from football. This time is for good.
We'll see.
Broncos reach a deal with Saints for Sean Payton. And the Royals narrow 14 potential downtown stadium sites to 5. Wonder where. We'll dive into that. Plus, coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week during our Hater to Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
The Kansas City Chiefs join a small group of teams to play in 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year span. They've already made history ahead of Super Bowl 57. Steve, how do you feel?
I mean, it just goes to show you what a good quarterback can do, for an organization, especially when you draft a QB. You don't really know, but shout out to the scouting department first and foremost. And also the Chiefs front office, because they put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak, in Patrick Mahomes. And they found out that he's good, and they built around him. You look at 2018, we all know what happened. It was 5-5, and he's offsides in D Ford. Mm-hmm. So they knew it was a coaching deal. They go and they revamp and bring in, get rid of Bob Sutton, bring in Steve Spagnuolo, and that seemed to flip the switch and turn it around. Good defense wins championships. And not only that, but they also have a great offense in Andy Reid leading the way with Eric Bieniemy as well. So I just think now, can we start it's early, but that dynasty conversation is there.
You want it to.
I don't really want it to, but it's there. I think if they make it to the Super Bowl, let's just say next year, looking beyond this year, if they make it to the Super Bowl next year, win this year and win next year, can you start the dynasty conversation?
Yes, this year
Okay,
and next year.
I just want to know, when does it start?
That. Yeah, but you gotta win multiple to be considered a dynasty.
Okay,
and they haven't won multiple.
Okay, I mean, but they joined that small group.
There are less than 10 teams have matched the Chiefs' success.
No, definitely, I give you that. But Steve's logic is always fluid.
It's not. This is set, because I mean, it's there. You see what the writing on the wall of, okay, they made it in 2019, they made it back in 2020, back to back. They had a, I wouldn't say down year last year. They just lost an AFC Championship game.
What's the motto of the show?
Almost doesn't count, huh?
Yeah, almost doesn't count. Because
Yeah.
I know if we flip flop this point to LeBron making it to the finals and not winning, I'm not sure you would have the.
No, I mean he's made it. The question is, LeBron himself a dynasty? I mean, yeah, he's one of the greatest players of all time, of course. But the thing about it is, we're not talking about LeBron. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about NFL.
And this is coming from a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so we got to hear your take, Q. Let's.
Well, I mean, because the Eagles made it in 2018, and they won, and so they made it this year. So if they make it next year, are they a dynasty? I'm playing. That's not a real question. No, but I definitely think to start the dynasty conversation, yes, you have to win a couple of times. I think it takes more than one win. So yeah, if they win this year, make the trip next year, we could start having the preliminary conversation.
Preliminary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, because here's the thing too about that. Tom Brady's no longer in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know we'll talk about that in a minute, but you have a great team, right? Mm-hmm. Great coach. They've run their league, so to speak, as far as the AFC West, their division. And it's an expectation for them to get to the Super Bowl. Like, anything less is a failed season.
Yeah,
I've never felt that way about a Chiefs team, because people felt that way about the New England Patriots. If you don't get, it's Super Bowl or bust for them. It was at that time.
Yeah.
So I think it's Super Bowl or bust for the Chiefs.
And that New England team was able to win it, because I mean, to circle back to your point of a dynasty, I think we will be able to call the Bills in the early 90s a dynasty. They lose, what was it, 3 Super Bowls in a row?
Yeah.
It was 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the same thing you're saying. I mean, they didn't win one. But
how many did the Cowboys win? They won 3 in the 90s, right? Were they a dynasty at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the Cowboys, you could say yes. Yeah, because they won multiple. I think they had a back-to-back, and then there was what a 1-2 year break.
Yeah.
So
and the Bulls, they three-peat. They had a three-peat
easy, because they had 2 dynasties.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess if we're going by that standard, I think NFL standard is a little different. If you look at just the totality of the leagues, right? NFL standards is just a little different.
It's a little different, but I still think you need to win multiple championships to be a dynasty.
Okay, I just but they have this record, 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year span. That's still great.
Still great. Nobody took that.
I just want to hear you say that.
It doesn't fall in the dynasty basket, though.
Okay,
it's a little short.
Okay.
Fair enough. Now, we're wheels up to Arizona today to be a part of Super Bowl week. What are you guys looking forward to most about Radio Row and reporting on the Super Bowl again this year?
Looking forward to the most. I mean, for me, the easy button is the parties. And not in a sense of like going to the club, but I like the networking aspect of the party, like meeting the different people, because Super Bowl is a little different, where the parties aren't necessarily like, go get drunk every hour of the day. Like, a lot of times it's, hey, come see this space of our city. You know, almost on it. It's almost like media is like tourists because we get to see a lot of different parts of the city. That's
Most
the,
definitely.
the host city. But then also being able to learn about the different technologies. Like last year, one of the networking parties we went to at the movie studio, there were like different food trucks, like the automated food truck. A lot of the different vendors, like the giveaways we got. Yeah, so the giveaways were really good, and that's like the cool thing because as someone that has my own brand, just being able to look at what other brands do to market themselves, but then create this full experience from an entertainment sense. They definitely do a good job, especially the people that put things together.
Steve?
I think for me is kind of on the lines of what Q said, but I think it's more in the aspect of, you know, being at Radio Row and being able to just to network with not only the athletes but the other like whether it's radio stations, whether it's personalities, people like that, just to see, you know, where we line up in that. You know what I'm saying? Like it for us to be there and be, you know, a small fish amongst big, you know, big sharks in the water. It's cool to see, and it's cool to just kind of just rub shoulders with folks that have been doing it for years. I mean you get a guy that has come on our show, Rob Parker. Like he's been around for, you know, 20 years plus, and he's still doing it, and he comes over to us. He's like, man, because we look like him, right? Like, so there's not many radio stations or shows that are there that have an all black crew. Like it just doesn't happen. And so I think that is the part that I love about it so much, and I'm looking forward to it. Just the people that come up and like, man, y'all look like me. Cool. Heck yeah, let's talk. You know, so I just like that part of it.
And you made me think of another point, because even at the parties that are offsite from Radio Row, you see a lot of the real people come out on Radio Row. You get like the facade, the company person, you know, but then as soon as they step outside of that convention center, it's a different thing. But Jazz.
And definitely that, and I think looks like looking like them and just like-minded people. Like I found it really fun to go to those events and like the parties and everything, and you can sit there and like, here at home, like, so you got your certain groups that like and follow sports, talk about sports, but not everybody's into sports. But then we go there and it's like you could chop it up about any sport, anything. Like we can always find something like in common with those people, us all being in the sports world. So I think that's pretty cool because there's always a conversation starter or like a way to meet new people. And then especially, you know, I'm always an advocate for the girls in the room. So seeing more and more, and like with the big push this year for women in those roles and women in sports, I think it'll be really dope seeing how like the growth from my first year being there, how many girls were there to now.
Like it.
So I'm excited about that for sure. But Autumn Lockwood is definitely adding to the pack too. Will be the first Black woman to coach in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it is for the Eagles, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
shout out to her.
Shout out to her. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, think we're about 10 years off from the Hunt family doing this. No, I'm playing, but
they already had.
That's all. I'm
you can't always just like the Chiefs, man.
Playing. Dang, Steve. Dang, take off your armor. Dang, but no, it's cool to see. Because even in Miami, what's the young lady from here that coached for the 49ers? Katie something.
Sowers.
Yeah. Katie Sowers.
Yeah.
Just being able to see her be because wasn't she the first female coach in the Super Bowl? I think she was.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, being able to meet her, but then to talk to her about like Kansas City stuff. Yeah. That was pretty cool to see. So I hope we get a chance to run into her. And exchange some ideas and some thoughts.
And this one definitely kind of goes back to looking like me. Like for me, this was huge to see like somebody that looks like me in that role too. And so yeah, definitely that was big.
Yeah, and I think we always talk. Well, at least I brought up the conversation when we started talking about Becky Hammond in the NBA, like how much you get guys. We talk about LeBron, heck, KD, Kyrie. How much will they actually listen to a woman, right, in their respective sport? And I think it's gone over really well, you know, because sometimes, and we see the battle. Let's just take it locally. We see a Tyreek Hill and an Eric Bieniemy kind of get into it on the sideline, right? It's just the heat of the game. That doesn't mean they're not taking it personal, but I just think it's just in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the game. They're both competitive. They want to win. And I've always wondered how that would go over with a woman in a coaching role. And I just think they don't take things personal. And I think it's been well.
How far do you think we're off from having a woman be a coordinator?
Ooh, I think we're far off from that because minorities, whether it's black or whatever, they've just become that. We look at the Eric Bieniemys. We look at give me another one from what's the guy from Tampa, Byron Leftwich. Yeah. But so I think as the culture goes, they will go. And then they'll start looking at women. But it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Because I think they have to be position coaches first.
And I think it's one thing to right now to have in that situation, like say in this heated situation, it's the women's opinion amongst a couple others. Like, but for that to be the woman's opinion is the deciding factor. I think that's a whole nother level of like, I don't think we're anywhere close. Like, it's one thing to be like, okay, I'll take your 2 cents. But it's another thing to be like, oh, you're the decision maker.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a whole nother level of like layer of respect.
And I don't think we're far off because I mean Steve and I's generation, looking at older millennials, we didn't have that. Like there was hardly any female presence even in the games.
Yeah.
Like normally a woman would come around, whether it's football or basketball. And it's like, we don't want the girl. Or,
true, for real. Yeah.
So like
Loving basketball.
So like now being able to have women be position coaches, I'm interested to see how that progresses. Because a lot of the times the woman probably hasn't played the game. But then you can flip-flop that on its head and it's like, well, the Bill Belichicks haven't played the game.
Right.
But they were able to become masterminds. So I'm interested to see how the league reacts if we get a female coach that comes out like a Sean McVay that comes in, 30 something, very early 30s, and it is looked at as this mastermind. But I mean, we still have the racial imbalance, and we see it, easing up off of quarterbacks, and it's starting to get there with coaches. I just think we're a little far off because we still struggle with like black people being in that position. I think it like you said, it's a little far off, but I'm interested to see where that goes because I would like to see that, and especially for a woman to be like a Bill Belichick that can dominate the game, not only in strategy, but just overall coaching and development of whether it's quarterbacks or just whatever it is. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, I think it had to start in the college ranks first.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, because
I don't know if I think it'll be it won't be so much for the player standpoint, but I think it'll be frowned upon, if that makes sense. It'd be frowned upon from the college ranks.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Who are you coming in without having any? I've been coaching for 20 years, and who are you not to just jump over college and leapfrog? I mean, we saw what happened with their own Jeff Saturday.
Yeah,
we saw what happened in the backlash that he got. He doesn't know what he's a commentator. He doesn't know anything about coaching. How did he get that gig? I mean, we saw it. So I don't know. I just think it posed a problem.
But I think it's a different interaction, like a different maturity level coming from college kids. So it's just like the same as a teacher being like, oh, I won't teach 9th grade, but I'll totally teach, or I won't teach middle schoolers, but I'll teach high schoolers because they can talk and actually understand their emotions and won't disrespect as much. And I feel like, granted, yes, in the league, there's still people that aren't fully mature, and as in with anything, but you'd be more apt to be able to like understand those emotions and conduct yourself correctly in the league versus in the college level, I feel like.
Okay.
But I definitely still think we're a minute off.
Yeah, we're way off.
Now, Tom Brady says he is retiring from football this time for good. Let's hear what TB12 had to say.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. I think you only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
Tom is such a robot. It's like, it's so funny to see.
He was emotional with this one, though. I think that was heartfelt.
Yeah.
And even Frank Clark was asked, Chiefs defensive end. Frank Clark was asked, what he thought about Tom Brady. And I think he gave the answer that everyone is thinking. He had his chance. He had his one. That's for Frank was like, yeah, he had his one. I don't have anything else to say. So, I mean, everybody gave the goat emoji. See you last year when he did this. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like cry wolf.
Yeah.
You're not going to fool me again.
Yeah.
No, and I think there's a lot of circumstances that go into that. I think Frank, whatever he's saying, I think one, that's out of ignorance. Because if Frank was to retire tomorrow, if that decision came down tomorrow, I don't think he wants to make that decision. And especially for somebody like Tom Brady that spent not only 20 years in the NFL, but I mean a lifelong in the game of football, that is hard to give up. And it comes down to those decisions. You hate it as to see his family have to go through that, to say, oh, I'm retiring, and then like a week or two later come back out of that retirement. Like I think they knew his family.
I think they knew.
I don't think they knew. I think they were expecting this fall and winter to be a family, to start anew, and then you see his wife leave him right before the season. And it just started that domino effect. And I think that was a affirmation point. And yes, Frank is probably speaking from a rival sense. But he had his one. Yeah. Give him that. But we know how tough it is to leave something that you love. And especially a game like this where it's afforded him, the top of the top. Like, why wouldn't you want to go out and do it again? And that shows you like the nature of his competitiveness. Like we saw it in Jordan. The nature of his competitiveness was making up things so that he can motivate himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, some would say that's crazy. Some would say that's self-motivating. But for some people, when you get a taste of that winning,
like Patrick Mahomes, huh?
He's only won once. Sorry. But no, when you get a taste of that winning, you definitely want to keep going. And especially for somebody that has played on a dynasty type of a team, where you can dominate an AFC, yes, you would want to go back to that. And to be able to go into Tampa his first year and win, that's so again, that's like, okay, how many more times could I do this before I'm done?
And I think my only comment to Frank Clark back would be easier said than done, because
That's what I'm saying.
like
yeah.
when you think you're ready to pull the trigger, and especially when you're healthy, it's not like he's having an injury or something that's taking you out of the game. Like sometimes I feel like it would almost be easier for it to go out that way, to where it's like, okay, I physically can't do this anymore, or like I've got to walk away. But just having to just make that decision, knowing that you may potentially still be fully healthy and still be able to do it, is definitely easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he was more coming from a standpoint of, all right, y'all asked me this last year. I gave you, I got my sack on Brady. Kudos to him. He went into a heartfelt thing last year, and then he was asked again this year, and he's like, all right, yeah, I gave y'all one, and he got his one. I'm not gonna go through all that again. He's gonna ride off into the sunset, whatever. Good luck to him, and that was it.
Yeah, no, and I like that, like being able to say, yeah, we did this once. I'm not gonna be fooled again. But yeah.
Thanks. Broncos reached deal with Saints for Sean Payton. Steve, your thoughts?
Another guy that's coming back out of retirement, but I think this one was planned. So now he's got to go in and win. He's got a quarterback who's done it. I just think Broncos fans, they're at the point where it's kind of like what we just said. You're not gonna fool me twice.
Yeah.
Right. Like we were bamboozled into believing this thing. Broncos, let's ride. From Russell Wilson. So you got to show us. And I think the way that he's gonna win fans over is to beat the Chiefs. I think that's the way that he's going to be able to right the ship and let them know that he's in it to win it. You can't go another season with this team losing 2 times in the division to the Kansas City Chiefs. It just can't happen.
Yeah, and I think for fans to win him over is just winning. I don't know if it's laser focused on the Chiefs.
I think it is.
I think it's returning back to that prominence, because you could almost say Denver has had a dynasty team where they won a couple of times and they lost one.
They did.
But so did Sean Payton officially retire before, or was he just fired and out the game?
He retired.
He did?
Yeah,
Okay.
he retired because he still had his contract, and that's why they had to do the deal with New Orleans in order to get Sean
because they
Payton.
still had the rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Because I think I had forgot he had retired.
Mhm.
But it goes to the point how hard it is to stay away from the game. Because didn't he do a run at CBS or something like that? Some kind of commentating.
Yeah, he did. Sunday morning football. I never get to see it, but Sunday morning football. Yeah.
And so it shows you how tough it is to stay away from the game. And I think that's one thing I forgot to mention is I wonder what Tom Brady does a transition after the game. I don't see it at coaching. I don't see it at I don't see him commentating or doing any analysis.
I think he's going full on into the TB12 brand. I saw something where he was on like social media talking about he has a deal with Dick's, and it's coming to like these new Dick's type stores where the TB12 brand is like kind of like The Rock has something with Under Armour, except this TB12 brand is just his.
And I think you look at him diversifying more, but even to go back to Sean Payton, I like this because, as I've said the whole season, I think the Broncos issues and Russell Wilson issues resided in the coach. I don't think it had anything to do with Russell. I think Russell mailed this season in a long time ago. And we saw how fast they fired the coach at the end of the season. I think this was inevitable. I think it was inevitable around like week 4 or 5. I forget what week it was. We talked about it, but just seeing how horrendous they played, and it wasn't necessarily the players. But I think Nathaniel Hackett really got put in a tough position to be afforded the head coaching opportunity so soon, and especially to pick up a team like this where you have to resurrect them to get back to a prominence, the John Elway era, the Terrell Davis era of winning, and then a couple of years off from that, and then having Peyton Manning. So that's 2 Hall of Famer shoes to fill. and Russell can do it.
Is
but
Russ not a Hall of Famer?
I think he'll get there because I mean,
Okay.
the same dynasty conversation you could have had with Seattle,
Yeah.
and especially in
I mean, I think he is. I think he's first ballot.
I definitely think he is, and the way people ragged on him all season, I thought it was misplaced because it's a what can you do for me league. Like, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And Russ hasn't done a lot, and especially his last year in Seattle, it was a lot of turmoil, a lot of players coming out about their past interactions and how they really didn't rock with him,
Especially since they're still winning.
Yeah, and and there's some things I'm not totally saying Russell is innocent in this, because there are certain things you have to do as a teammate, as a comrade, but I think Sean Payton comes in and rights this ship. It may not be next year, but I think within the next year or two, you'll see some like transformation, and he's coming to probably the most competitive division right now. I would want to say the AFC North, but not really, because Pittsburgh is a question mark. Cleveland is always a question mark. But the AFC West, you have the Chargers and the Broncos that are like, they just haven't gotten over the hump. They're literally right there. So I think Sean Payton comes in and does well.
Now, some winning might help the Royals' case in this one. Royals narrow 14 potential downtown stadium sites down to 5. Steve, your thoughts?
This is getting interesting. I have a few sources that have told me that the stadium is going to the 18th and Vine area. KCATA is going to be out, and that's where the stadium is going. Oh, right there on the other side of 18th and Paseo, that's where it's going. And it just makes sense when you see all of the infrastructure and the money that they're putting over into that area. Mm-hmm. It just makes perfect sense. And to be able to combine the 18th and Vine area with the stadium and then going over into the Crossroads area, I mean, it just makes sense, especially having the historic Buck O'Neill YMCA there on between 18th and 19th and Paseo. You have the Urban Youth Academy right there. You have the Negro League Baseball Museum right there. So I just think it's fitting. It makes perfect sense for it to go right there.
I think what you're saying makes sense. I don't know infrastructure wise how that works. And especially in that specific part of the city. I did hear some rumblings about the East Village, which is a little north of there.
Yeah.
I think it's like 9th or 10th Street, something like that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's
where I thought it first too.
Yeah, because I remember seeing like a week or two ago, it was a building being demoed over there.
Yeah.
They were making space for a lot of things over there, and it's right off of the freeway. I think being that close to the freeway, downtown River Market, I think it's very close to the women's soccer stadium. So I think it goes a little further north. I personally don't want to see it that close to 18th and Vine.
Really?
I think it kills the district.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I really can. But then you look at them getting ready to. I mean, they're demoing Parade Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
A place where Black folks lived since I've known them 50 plus years, right? And they're gonna, I think, put high rises right there. And so I think it's going in one of those two spaces, but I'm leaning more towards just seeing, where the mayor's from, where, what area he likes to frequent, and that's the 18th and Vine area. And I just think he would be able to make a mark on this city by helping get the Royal Stadium right there. And then there's a lot of old buildings there that are now vacant.
They've been vacant.
and when there's like the recycling spaces over there that have just become vacant within the last year and a half, 2 years. And I just think it just makes sense to go there. But we'll see. We'll see. It's not our $1 billion problem.
Not at all.
Thanks. Now we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss a high school basketball coach who couldn't close the yearbook. Keep it locked
Ooh.
in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, high school girls basketball team season is over after a 22-year-old coach impersonates 13-year-old player. Let's see the video first.
All right, file this one under one of the strangest stories I've ever heard of and talked about. Last Friday, we received an email from the mother of a player on the Churchland High School girls JV basketball team that an assistant coach on the team named Arlisha Boykins impersonated a 13-year-old player on the team that was out of town for a club basketball tournament. Here's video from that game. Churchland is in the black uniforms. Number one right there that just came up with the black block shot. We're told that as Arlisha Boykins. They were taking on Nansman River. This video has been edited to show you some of the highlights. Arlisha is apparently a 22-year-old young woman going up against 14 and 15-year-old girls. Now, we have confirmed that Boykins is no longer an employee of Portsmouth Public Schools. And since this game, the student athletes on the team and parents decided to just end the season. They will not be playing any more games this year. Portsmouth Public Schools did launch an investigation into this matter. The details have not been revealed by officials quite yet. Now, I spoke with the father of the 13-year-old girl that was being impersonated. Here's what he had to say about his reaction when he heard the news.
Coaches, always preach to the kids, about integrity and those type of things. So I was just shocked. I just need, an apology, because I haven't yet received one from, the overseer of the program or nothing. He just came out and just told us the stipulations of what was going to happen, but there was no apology issued personally to us, even in his presence.
We're going to follow up with this story if more information comes out. Those parents told me today that they.
Interesting. Very interesting. Jazz, would you go back and play in a JV game?
You know what's sad about this? I feel like I would blend in at the the size, the features. So, I mean, if I could get away with it, possibly. For the guy commentating, he's right that the integrity side of it is not right. But, I mean,
it's crazy. You're 22, 23 years old, right? Grown woman. Yeah.
Ball is life, Steve.
Yeah. But still, you sometimes. So we had a senior when I was coaching. We had a senior who transferred in, and we wanted to get him like a few reps, just live reps against another team. And so he was like I said, he was a senior. Seniors can't play JV. That's just the rule. And so, well, they can, however, they just don't. You won't be a senior playing junior varsity.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked to the coach of the other team. Was like, hey, we got this kid. We want to be able to get him some live reps. Can we put him in on the JV? Oh yeah, sure, coach. Go ahead. It is what it is. So he went out. He had 30, but we at least let the coach know, like, hey, he's a senior. We want to be able to get him some live reps. He transferred in. He hasn't been able to play yet. He won't be able to play until January, second semester. So he's like, yeah, go ahead. It's okay. But at least you let him know. But this is way out of hand.
Yeah, it's way out of hand.
And you saw her like, and one. You saw her, yeah. I'm like, come on. What kind of, like, how do you get off doing like that? Just
that's what I'm saying. Ball is life to some people. I mean, some people take that very seriously. And I mean, if it takes putting on a JV uniform and going and get some buckets, I mean, she's forever a bucket.
Anybody can
clearly.
Get it. Anybody can get
you want the smoke.
Like, Steve, you admire the Mamba mentality, but not in this case. No, I'm playing. But like, I won't say anything is wrong with her. I think she just saw an opportunity to shoot some hoop, get some reps in.
No, something's definitely wrong with her. Why would you want to do that? I mean, you get it, and it's on JV. Like, do this against the varsity. I'll have another thing, but like, this is the JV team
because varsity's too high profile. JV, you don't think nobody's around. I just wonder which player like snitched.
Somebody said something.
So because I wonder if her at the free throw line, and it's like, this is our coach shooting, right?
Yeah, that's sticky. Definitely sticky. Now, Titans ditched natural grass for artificial turf at Nissan Stadium, citing injuries and player safety. Yep.
Wait, it said they're ditching grass for turf?
Yep. So do you think grass is...
No, we just had this report like 2 months ago that said how bad artificial turf is. And they're switching it out. Oh, okay. Player safety out the window, I guess.
I mean, they're citing it and saying that it's going to be better for the players.
Yeah, this is interesting too. I just feel like we know the history of not only concussions, knees. There's a lot of bad things that are happening to players because of turf.
And then they have Derrick Henry that touches how many times has he touched the ball in the season?
Yeah.
Mike
Vrabel, head coach of the Titans, addressed the decision in a release, and he said there's nothing more important than the health and safety of our players. We had a lot of issues with grass at Nissan Stadium after a certain part of the season. It's hard to grow grass, and it gets slick.
Okay. I could see that in that part of the country because you have that rain snowy mix in Nashville. I could understand that late in the season. I'm just like,
and he also said, our grass is not on the level of some of the other grass services. At the beginning of the year, summer training camp, early season, I can see it being very consistent. But as the season wears on and the weather changes, there is noticeable difference in the performance on the field. Per the Titans team, is replacing the grass with monofilament matrix helix turf with an organic infield to ensure consistent playing services year round.
Fair enough.
I guess so. I mean,
and this is a city that's supposed to be building a new stadium.
And so I think we need to go back and visit that report from like a month or two ago about turf, because I thought that was like a consensus thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe he wasted some money.
We will see. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment. Kick it off with our sneakers of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
I thought you were going to let that ATL Jacob fall.
If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the sneakers of the week this week, we got the Air Jordan 2 Lucky Greens.
Hate them. Don't like them at all.
You don't?
I like the classics. I don't really like these greens. When did MJ ever play in some green shoes?
Not a fan. Not a fan. Puma Mellow Ball 02 Jades.
I like these. These are pretty dope.
Hate it.
Mellow kind of got like some little. They're cool. I wouldn't wear them with like out and about. I wear them to like work out or hooping. But yeah, these are cool.
I hate these ventricles on the back. What is that?
Ventricles.
It's like fire or something. Like fire.
Not a fan. Hard pass.
His colorways have been dope. Like he came with the Volt green, the orange, now these kind of teal. Yeah, fire.
Reebok Answer Force.
Classics. Yep. Can't go wrong with these.
Cute.
I'm just gonna jump out on a limb, and you could just pass me on all 4 of these.
What?
I would have to agree. I was not gonna say it. If I had to choose one, it would be the next one's the Air Jordan 5 Aquas. But this was a rough week, Steve.
The Aquas. I'm probably gonna end up getting these today. Like before we leave, I think I got a shirt that to go. Yeah, these are pretty dope. Yeah, I like these. These are they I saw them yesterday at the store. and the aqua is just got the teal feel. Yeah, pretty dope.
Those would go perfect with your Super Bowl Letterman's jacket.
They would. They would.
Yeah, pass on all these.
Yeah, but
haters.
Rough week. Bottled sand from Tom Brady's retirement spot is selling for crazy money. Hate it or love it.
I love it.
Get your bag.
How do you know? How do you
So
know?
whoever it lives in Tampa, because that's where he was, knows the spot. I mean, if you go to the beach, you know where all the spots are. And I mean, you can see the background, you know, the buildings, or that's probably a condo. It's probably someone that lives there and saw Tom while he was out there taking them. So it's like, let me just go grab some of this sand. And sand is endless there. So we could probably go down there next week and say, hey, I got some bottled sand from where Tom Brady was. And how much you think we could sell it for? At least $1,000. If it's $90,000.
You think somebody's buying it too?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Maybe just to say you have, like, there's bound to be that one guy that's got a man cave and he puts it on a shelf in the basement to show all his friends.
Come over to my house. I got some sand to show y'all where Tom Brady did his retirement video. You mean the first retirement? No, the second one.
Yeah. I mean, if Broderick doesn't buy it, I don't know who would.
Broderick's low-key saving up.
Man.
He's definitely setting it aside on each paycheck. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce met with KU Jayhawks after win versus Kansas State. Hate it or love it.
Eye roll emoji.
Let's see the video.
Listen up, fellas. Hey, hold on, listen up, guys. It's lovely to get one, baby, but it's even better to get two. Go ahead and get that thing, dog.
Kelce, my dog, but that was kind of wow.
How does he know what 2 championships feel like?
The shade.
He could be talking about All Pro. He could be talking about Pro Bowl. He could be talking about anything.
No, he was talking about a national championship that they just won some months back.
Yeah, Steve likes to forget about that.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
I love it.
What's the next one?
Iowa and Illinois fan group dispute reason for ticket order cancellation. Hate it or love it.
What's going on here?
Well, days before they're set to battle at the Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, the Hawkeyes inviting Illinois are already jousting with one another. Their purchase of $200 tickets for the matchup, and the decision will cost the group more than $6,000 if it can't recoup because it's too late to cancel the charter buses and other travel arrangements. And the group also accused Iowa's brass of being fearful of its presence.
I mean, that's this is a wild story.
It is.
I don't know where to go with this one.
It is. You know what? They donated the tickets to Boys and Girls Club, but I'm just like, man, why y'all just can't just give them the tickets? Like, it is what it is. I mean, if they travel, they travel. I mean, it's I don't know.
And going back to Travis Kelce,
oh my goodness, we're on Iowa right now.
No, because I mean. Maybe he already read the script this year, so he knows they're winning.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. That was a reach. But you never know. Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards claims he eats 21 bags of hot Cheeto fries a week. Hate it or love it.
You a Cheeto fry eater? Don't you eat the hot chips?
21 a week? Oh, I would. Never mind. Can't even go there. You know the intestines are flaming at that point. That's terrible. Let's hear what he has to say.
I've been eating them since I was probably like 5 years old. I prefer these over any chips in the world. I probably eat like 3 a day. You do the math. Was that 21 bags? Yeah, I eat that many. Probably more though, for real. Depending on how long my day is.
He trying to get the NIL deal as an NBA player.
Nah, that definitely is. Now that I'm thinking about it, that ain't nothing but he's looking for endorsement money. Because out of 3 a day,
but low key, like I eat those, and the best chips that are on the market right now are no. Hear me out. The best chips on the market are the LeBron James Ruffles, the hot with the cream cheese. I mean,
must be good.
The sour, the cream.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. The best. Go look at the Ruffles with LeBron on the bag. Those are the best. Like I had the ones with Jason Tatum on the bag, but the ones with Bron on the bag, oh man, I could eat.
Oh, so these are like wrap snacks, but for chips?
Yes, they're good.
I mean, for NBA players?
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
We might have to stop down there.
Yeah, you will. They're
Hot
good.
take. Clemson's Brevin Galloway signs NIL deal.
Wait. Adam Garcia says the Takis.
Oh, the Takis? Nah, hey, you talk about
I
that.
never had them. I never had
You
them.
never had Takis?
No, never.
You'll probably never eat hot chips again.
Really? I don't eat hot chips. Like the taste is nasty, but
It's the texture for me with Takis though, because it's a different texture.
I mean, it's a rolled Dorito.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's just rolled up instead of like flat.
No.
I
don't want no chips my son eats.
Oh no, these Takis are. I mean, they're you're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're crazy. They're probably the best chip on the market.
All right. Just wait till you have these
I guess
ruffles.
we're gonna have a debate when we get there.
Yep.
We'll have
Chip
a debate
debate.
in the car.
Chip debate.
All right, bet. Back to Clemson's Brevin Galloway signing NIL deal following injury. Hate it or love it.
This is when I read this, it was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like NIL deal for having surgery on his testicles.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an underwear company.
Oh,
has signed him to an NIL deal.
I had a very inappropriate joke that was about to come out. I'm just surprised it wasn't Under Armour.
Yeah, he suffered a testicular torsion following a workout. So the six-year senior, he basically he gave a graphic description of what all went into it, but the company is now backing him in an NIL deal. So he's gonna leave school with some ducats.
Testy market.
Good one. NFL teams can no longer ask draft prospects if their mother is a sex worker. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Yeah, they ask all kind of crazy questions in these meetings, which and really don't make any sense. I just feel like they want to see what kind of person you are, want to see your emotion, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that it's wild. It's wild to have to ask all that, and not even have to, like, to insert that. Like, that doesn't matter how I play football. Like, what? But it's a lot of crazy things that go on in that draft process.
And if they do, they could be forced to forfeit a draft pick between the first and fourth round and be fined a minimum of $150K.
Yeah, and I was reading some of the ones that have been asked, like in 2010, Miami Dolphins general manager Jeff Ireland apologized to Cowboys first-round pick Dez Bryant and asked him during a pre-draft visit whether his mother was a sex worker.
Yeah.
In 2016, Atlanta Falcons coach Dan Quinn apologized to Eli Apple because one of his coaches asked cornerback about his sexual preference, and then 2 years later, LSU running back Darius Juice said in one of the combines, he was asked about his sexuality, and another inquired if his mother was a sex worker.
Crazy. Like, that's just crazy.
I didn't have that on my bingo board.
No, definitely. But that, I mean, the exploitation that goes into, like, being in a position to ask those questions with a straight face.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Definitely. Star UGA quarterback Stetson Bennett arrested in Texas for public intoxication. Police say, hate it or love it.
It's crazy, man. Like I get it. Like, but he's old enough to know better.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, man. I blame the people that he's around, who he's associated with. You know, you're going to be a first round pick. You gotta lay low until you get the money, man.
Just blame him.
Yeah,
because I don't think you can blame anybody else but him. But is Georgia a dynasty?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Last but not least, J.R. Smith responds to Paul Pierce's unbeatable Celtics claim. Hate it or love it.
This is funny.
What did he say?
They had posted and said, who is beating this starting five? J.R. Smith responded to Paul Pierce's claim saying, LOL, a lot of teams.
Yeah, he had a picture of KG, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart all together. And he said, who's beating this starting five? He said, laughing out loud, a lot of teams. At least he's being real about it. All right, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Remember, you can catch our shows rewind on Monday, 100.1 FM Kansas City. I can't talk today. One Kansas City Radio. Remember, catch us all week. We will be live from Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona, ahead of Super Bowl 57. Until Monday, we are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.